Coming up on Volusia Magazine, we cut the ribbon on more county trails, look back at the state of the county address, and for some of our area students, it's time to update their shots. These stories and more coming up next. Volusia Magazine. I'm Tammy King. While emergency management is a year-round endeavor, it gets particularly busy during hurricane season, where it's all eyes on the tropics. Helena Wetherington is new to Volusia County, but she's certainly no stranger to emergency management. In fact, Helena brings more than 20 years of expertise in emergency preparedness, planning, response, and recovery to her job.
Hi, this is Gary Davidson with Volusia County Community Information, and I'm here at the Emergency Operations Center where activity is bustling this time of year. Now, if you look up the term hit the ground running, chances are you're going to see a picture of Volusia County's new Emergency Management Director, Helena Wetherington. That's because Helena began her job here just 2 weeks before the June 1st start of the Atlantic hurricane season. And so with preparations in high gear for the storm season, let's check in with Helena and see what she's been up to.
Together, emergencies are managed. It takes all of us working together, bringing all of our resources together to meet the needs of disaster victims post-disaster.
To be effective, emergency management requires strong partnerships and effective communication. Communication with everyone from local, state, and federal agencies to shelter hosts, response organizations, residents, businesses, and the media. And that's why much of Helena's time since taking the helm at the Emergency Operations Center has been focused on meetings and collaboration, safety messaging, and establishing and strengthening those important relationships. After all, in an emergency, it's all hands on deck and everyone has to work as a team.
My first priority as the Volusia County Emergency Management Director is to meet all of the team players, all of my partners in emergency management. Maintaining communications with the community is vital before, during, and after any disaster.
One of the most important messages is ensuring that the emergency management staff, all of our emergency management partners, and most importantly, our residents and businesses are storm ready. And that means promoting helpful tools like the Code Red Alert system and the Volusia County Emergency Management app, both of which can be accessed through the county website. For Helena, the ramped-up communications efforts have included meeting with emergency management staff and community partners and engaging in media interviews, including a recent radio appearance to talk about hurricane preparedness.
All right, item 2 is the confirmation of appointment of Helena Wetherington as the Emergency Management Director.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
What's your message to listeners right now? What should Volusia County residents be doing right now? It's June 1st, in these early parts of June.
Most importantly is have your family disaster plan. Ensure that all of your family members know what are you going to do. Will you be evacuating because you live in the hurricane evacuation zone, or you live in an area that's low-lying and is prone to flooding, or you live in a structure that probably is not as safe as it should be, or perhaps is a mobile home. In any of those circumstances, it is vital that you prepare for your evacuation. Know where you're going to go.
In that same radio interview, Helena fielded a question about the importance of the business community being a part of any post-disaster recovery plan.
Economic development, that ties into emergency management as well, doesn't it?
A resilient community relies upon all elements of the community being strong, preparing, and thinking ahead. Our business community is a vital component of our both preparedness, response, and recovery. If the business community does not come back quickly and effectively, the community will not come back effectively.
It really has been a fast-paced whirlwind of activity for Helena since coming to Volusia County, but she feels incredibly fortunate and encouraged by what she's already seen. a strong team, and a strong community that pulls together and works together. You started here on May 17th, 15 days before the start of the hurricane season. I'm pretty sure that that's got to create some challenges for you.
Volusia County has a strong emergency management framework. You've got a
We really do. Yes.
fantastic emergency operations center that I think is state-of-the-art compared against any, not only in the state of Florida, but throughout the nation. It's very capable of handling any type of impact. You've got a fantastic team that's been working together. While there's some new blood in there too, there's a lot of experience that's been here for a long time, not only knows the county and what was needed for a response. So I think that is in place, and I feel very fortunate to be able to step into that legacy of my predecessors and know that there's a strong foundation.
Remember, hurricane season goes through November 30th. Make sure you have a family disaster plan, your home and property are hardened, and you have a well-stocked disaster supply kit. Pay attention to weather alerts and be prepared to leave if a storm is threatening and you're told to evacuate. And with hurricane season upon us, we need to start thinking about the potential of threatening high water. Are you insured? Pat Hewen has information on how to prepare your home for flooding.
So what can you do to reduce your home's risk for flooding? That's a question that affects homeowners across Florida, and not just those who live near the ocean. Fortunately, Volusia County government is doing some of the work for you. Over the years, the county has implemented FEMA-approved programs that protect residents from flooding through public information, mapping and regulations, flood damage reduction, and warning and response. Volusia County continues to excel in FEMA's National Flood Insurance Program with its program to minimize impacts of flooding. The county currently holds a Class 5 rating from FEMA, meaning those who purchase flood insurance policies in unincorporated areas receive a 25% premium discount. So what is an unincorporated area? It's any area in the county that is not within city limits. To maintain the county's excellent flood rating and protect manufactured and mobile homes from flooding, the Volusia County Council recently passed a new ordinance that's in keeping with FEMA's new requirements. According to the ordinance, all manufactured homes installed or replaced in special flood hazard areas in unincorporated areas of Volusia County must be elevated so the lowest floors are at or above the base flood elevation plus 1 foot. If you live within city limits, contact your city to see if it participates in the flood rating discount program. Every city has a different classification. FEMA has mapped every city and county in the nation and assigned a flood zone classification to each. So how do you find out if your home is in a flood zone and what type of flood zone it is? The answer is on the map. Just visit safewise.com. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Pat Hewen.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
A massive project, decades in the making, is finally complete. But what is it? And why did it take so long? Have you ever heard the phrase, good things come to those who wait? Well, in this case, it has never rung so true. David Hunt has the story.
It's been a long ride, Volusia County, but we finally made it.
Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Start gathering towards the tent, and we'll get started here in a few minutes.
It's such a beautiful day, not only to be alive, but I couldn't think of a better place to be than Volusia County right here, right now. We have some of the finest trail advocates in the state, and one of our very own living legend, Pat North. It would be hard to be here without her and her dedication. She served Volusia County for a very, very long time. Pat North, everybody, give Pat a great round of applause.
As a former Volusia County council member, I tell people our trails in Volusia County are a 25-year overnight success story. This trail system that we are celebrating today began in the mid-1990s with the funding of the first mile of the Spring to Spring Trail, and while Volusia County had our county ECHO funds with an annual commitment of $1 million a year from that fund to build trails, it was the state commitment to the Sun Trail program in late 2015 that jump-started the construction of the East Coast Rail Trail. This trail, the longest rail trail conversion in the state, is an important segment of both the #1 state trail, the Coast to Coast Trail, and the St. Johns River to Sea Loop, the #2 state trail. Volusia County is at the confluence of these two great systems. It took us a while to get here, but with this ribbon cutting today, Volusia County has met our commitment to build the rail trail that began in December of 2007. I am proud of all the miles of asphalt that we have put down as we are providing nature-based recreation opportunities for not just our visitors who are creating economic value in our communities, but importantly, our residents who live here and call our beautiful county home. It was and continues to be their commitment to our ECHO and Forever programs that helped us get here today. And I would like to acknowledge the voters who voted last year to continue both programs for another 20 years. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for your support of Sun Trails. What an awesome program that is. And finally, I can take a deep breath and know this system, this rail trail, was completed in my lifetime. I started this trails journey in my 40s, and I'm now in my early 70s. I often wondered if I would get to cut the ribbon on this wild and rural section of asphalt that traverses the county from east to west. Today is a good day. On behalf of the St. Johns River to Sea Loop Alliance, we add our congratulations and pledge our continued support to Volusia County, to the state, and its commitment to trails and nature-based recreation. Thank you.
This trail was made possible by us, the people, collaborating, advocating, and working together to get us to this exact point in time. So what does it all mean?
We talk about being a great community to live in, work, and play. The trail will serve as a place to create memories, enjoy nature, get fit, have fun, travel, and explore. This unique partnership to coordinate across counties and various local and state agencies allowed the community to win big. Not only does this trail system connect communities, but also becomes an economic driver and creates tourism opportunities.
So as of today, a bicyclist or pedestrian is able to travel on 65 continuous miles of dedicated paved trail through 4 counties in this region.
It really was a great day in Volusia County, and the story of trail accomplishments doesn't end here. Let's send it over to Pat Kuhn with even more great news on the trail front. I'm David Hunt with Volusia Magazine.
Thanks, David. We're at the ribbon cutting ceremony for the new DeLeon Springs Trail, which covers 1.7 miles near DeLeon Springs State Park.
Unlike the Gobbler's Lodge Trail, this segment is part of the popular Spring to Spring Trail, which covers 27 miles in West Volusia County. This segment was funded by the statewide Sun Trail program and the local Volusia ECHO initiative. The DeLeon Springs community has really rallied around this trail, and they're looking forward to walking, jogging, cycling, and skating through this lovely wooded trail.
It's a really huge step for the people that live here. You know what's happening? We're attracting people from Orlando, from Osceola County, from Titusville that are coming here to our beautiful county to ride our trails, eat at our restaurants, go to DeLand, which is one of the best downtowns in Central Florida. We're drawing people here to spend their money right here. You know what else is happening? These trails are part of the future of not just Volusia County, but any smart community, because it attracts the kind of people that we need to be our future employment. It keeps my kids here. It keeps your kids here. It's a great thing for Volusia County residents. It's an economic driver to bring people in, tourists in. It makes us more attractive, and it's good for our workforce. It's good for the young people that I want to keep here and that we need to attract.
Volusia County is a trendsetter. We are putting Volusia on the map. We're putting Northwest Volusia and Northwest District 1, which I'm so proud of, on the map. So I thank you all for being here. And we're proactively developing trails across our county. Knowing the difference that these trails will make in our community, I'm really proud of being a part of this trailblazing effort. The segment we're standing on runs 1.7 miles along Ponce de Leon Boulevard through the beautiful wooded area north of Spring Garden Avenue. It will be a valued recreational asset for De Leon Springs residents and the county for generations to come. In short, this is a great addition for our community. It will bring new people to our county, provide additional recreational opportunities, and enhance our quality of life.
It doesn't happen overnight. It takes visionaries. You hear about Pat Northey, and you can't say enough good things about Pat because she had this vision along with other leaders, past Volusia County Council people, all the way through to our Volusia County Council now. But she had people that she aligned and got together with the same vision, and they pushed and pushed and pushed and didn't give up. And today we stand here because of people like Pat who made that happen.
Walkers, joggers, inline skaters, bicyclists, and people with disabilities now have more trails to enjoy in West Volusia. With this new segment, Volusia County has completed 21 miles of the Spring to Spring Trail. When complete, it will stretch 27.2 miles from De Leon Springs State Park to Green Springs Park. The Spring to Spring Trail is part of the partially completed 260-mile St. Johns River to Sea Loop, which travels through Volusia, Flagler, Brevard, St. Johns, and Putnam counties.
Schools might have just started their summer breaks, but it's never too early to begin thinking about vaccinations for our kids entering the 7th grade. Ethan Johnson has all the Vax facts and Community Health Matters.
COVID-19 vaccination has been front and center over the past few months, but Department of Health in Volusia County wants to remind you that there are many other dangerous diseases vaccines can prevent. Now is the time for your children to get their school vaccines. We're here today providing vaccines for students entering the 7th grade. As required for 7th grade entry, Tdap is the vaccine that most students are getting today. We're also providing hepatitis A, HPV, meningococcal. All of these vaccines are recommended for this age group by the CDC.
One of the greatest successes of childhood vaccination can be seen in the vaccination efforts that led to the elimination of polio in the United States. Polio was once one of the most feared diseases in the U.S. In the early 1950s, before polio vaccines were available, polio outbreaks caused more than 15,000 cases of paralysis each year. Following the introduction of vaccines, the number of polio cases fell rapidly to less than 100 in the 1960s and fewer than 10 in the 1970s. This is one of the many stories that speak to the safety and efficacy of childhood vaccines.
Getting a vaccination is simple. Typically, you'll arrive at one of our designated locations. The parent or guardian signs consent. The student receives the vaccines. The Form 680 will be printed upon request. Students will then be prepared for 7th grade entry. My name is Tori Culver. I'm the school health manager with the Department of Health in Volusia County. How do you feel about the vaccine clinic?
It was you guys are very organized, it's very thorough, we were in and out. Matter of fact, it's time for us to leave now. So I think it's great that Volusia County partnered up with the school and the health department to get the kids their shots this year.
So it is with hopes that we continue this program and we continue to provide students and their parents easy access to health care within their community without having to make an appointment. They can just show up and get their vaccines. They don't have to miss school now because they don't have the required vaccines when it's time to go back to school. And they don't have to wait long hours in the doctor's office or even in our clinics with the rush of back to school.
They should be vaccinated. It's a good thing. You know? It's something that every kid should do.
Was it convenient for you to bring your child here versus make an appointment for the doctor's office?
No, absolutely. Bringing it here is a lot easier, you know. I don't even make an appointment. I just show up. They just told me that I needed to be here before 1 o'clock, and very convenient, you know.
On-time vaccinations throughout childhood is important because it helps provide immunity before children are exposed to potentially life-threatening diseases. Vaccines are tested to ensure that they are safe and effective for children to receive at the recommended ages.
We have plans to continue the program. Even students that did not have the opportunity to get out for the last 2 days to receive the vaccines, we're going to be putting our heads together to look at our numbers of still high needs of students who need the vaccine, and we'll be targeting those areas. We know that the Campbell middle school area and our Taylor Middle High area, it's difficult to get those students out and get them access. So we'll be working together to bring some on-site clinics in the near future, and we hope to continue this program every school year so that we continue to provide the medical access to our students in need.
In an effort to continuously improve the health and well-being of Volusia County residents, the Health Department is committed to providing free to no-cost vaccinations for our children. Remember, infectious diseases once killed or harmed many children and adults. The Florida Department of Health in Volusia County is here to help protect your family from vaccine-preventable illnesses. Don't wait. Come in and get vaccinated today. Please stop by one of our locations for your school vaccinations today. Walk-ins and appointments are welcomed.
So, how do you put on the annual State of the County address in the middle of a pandemic? With some extra elbow room to spread out, added safety precautions, and, as it turns out, a heaping dose of generosity towards neighbors in need, as you'll see in this next story.
Required by the county charter, Volusia County's annual State of the County is an opportunity to both celebrate accomplishments of the past year and also reflect on goals for the coming year and beyond. And it's a time for the county and our local cities, chambers of commerce, local organizations, the business community, and our residents to join together in a shared vision for our future. Holding this year's event during a pandemic was no small feat, but ultimately it served as a beacon of encouragement and unity and a welcome reminder that Volusia County remains open for business.
Everything today, the venue, the food, the parking, the brochures, the keychains, everything is compliments to our generous sponsors.
The event took place on April 27th in the spacious exhibit hall at the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach. Some of the features were familiar from years past. For instance, there was the Color Guard presentation, compliments of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Daytona Beach Chapter 1048. There was the singing of the national anthem, and there were many former county council members in attendance like Frank Bruno and Joey Alexander. But in other ways, the event had a somewhat new and different feel. The tables were spread further apart than usual, with fewer tables and chairs in the room, because attendance was greatly reduced from years past for everyone's safety and comfort. Still, it didn't do anything to dampen the excitement and enthusiasm for the event. When it came time to shine the spotlight on last year's activities, not surprisingly, much of the focus was on the county's response to the COVID pandemic and the ongoing efforts to assist and support community recovery. The story was told in a powerful and dramatic 10-minute video highlighting the dedication, creativity, and compassion of the county's response.
We ramped up our Emergency Operations Center, activated emergency response plans, and initiated an unprecedented level of coordination with our health facilities and municipal, regional, state, and federal partners to plot out a strategy to combat this new threat. I'm proud to say that our employees stepped up and found new and innovative ways to continue on with the business of serving the public without interruption. Our employees embodied the spirit of service, and this new challenge required every ounce of their resourcefulness, imagination, and creativity, and in many instances meant a transition to virtual programs and services. For the time being, this was our new normal. This was our first step to the road of recovery.
While the needs have been great, our resolve has been even greater. Resilience is no longer just a vague term or abstract concept. It represents hope and strength. It's a way of life and our roadmap to continued recovery.
The video ends with what has become Volusia County's unofficial motto throughout the pandemic, as well as the theme for this year's State of the County event: Volusia proud, Volusia strong. After watching the COVID response video, it was hard to imagine that the county had time last year to do anything else. But in spite of the pandemic, the regular business of county government continued on in 2020. A great deal more was accomplished last year, including new trail segments, the start of construction on Lemon Bluff Park in Osteen, the opening of the new Northeast Public Works Services facility, and progress on the terminal renovation at Daytona Beach International Airport, and major transportation improvements to 10th Street, Hallam Boulevard, and Orange Camp Road. And of course, last year's crowning achievement, the much-anticipated opening of the magnificent new Tomstead Veterans Memorial Bridge. Now, one of the biggest changes in this year's State of the County event is that it was turned into a fundraiser for the Second Harvest Food Bank. The local business, hospital, and educational communities responded enthusiastically to the call for donations, and the event raised $27,000 for food aid in our community. As Lenore Tavella, the operations lead for the Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida, announced during the check presentation, the money raised was enough to provide around 108,000 meals for needy residents, for hungry residents right here in Volusia County.
For every dollar that you give, we can give $9 worth of food. So this amount equates to $243,000 worth of food.
As the event came to a close and everybody prepared to leave, the day ended with one more round of applause, but this time it was the County Council applauding the audience.
Your 2021 Volusia County Council, let's give our constituents a hand, please. Again, thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next year.
Stay connected with the latest Volusia County news, events, and updates on our social media channels. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Catch up with previous stories on YouTube, or just head over to our website, volusia.org.
Well, that wraps up this edition of Volusia Magazine. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. If you have any questions about the show, feel free to give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org and click on the News tab at the top of the screen to find us. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today. That's Volusia County Government's weekly public radio program. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday mornings on the local radio station you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Tammy King, and as always, have a fabulous day on purpose.